you spend with this wife must be equal to the time you are spending with the other wife. The money that you are giving monthly for household management to this wife, the same money should be given to the other wife. Anything which can be counted, which can be measured, must be absolutely equal. That is the condition. By khiftum Allah ta'adilu, permission is there. You can have 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives at a time. But this is the condition. You have to fulfill this justice. Only there is one exception. There may be, your heart is more inclined to one and not that much inclined to the other. But this is beyond your control. And this will be made clear in this very surah. We shall find in the next passages that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted that this is the weakness of man. So this is pardonable. But whatever can be measured or counted, in that absolute equality has to be maintained. Time, money, dresses, etc., dwelling, they must be absolutely equal at par with each other. وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةٌ وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. And in addition to the wives, you can have those slave girls whom your right hands possess. They are besides. They are not counted in wives. Wives are separate. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَا أَلَّا تَعُولُوا. This is more likelier that you won't go astray and you won't deviate from the right path. So if you keep only one wife, you are saved from doing any injustice. You will not be responsible on the day of judgment for any injustice to any of one of them. So it's better to have one. This is persuasion. It's safer to have one. But you are allowed. There can be circumstances that a person needs more than one wife. You can, but you have to do justice. Full justice to all your wives. And not beyond 4. وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلَةً. Again. And give over to the women their dowry, their bridal money, mahar, which we call. Sadoqat. This is sadoqat. Singular is sadaq. Sadaq means the bridal money which a husband pays to the bride, which we call mahar. So you must pay the mahar or the bridal money or the dower or the dowry with pleasure. Nihla. Don't think it's some fine that you have to pay. It's not a fine, it's a present to your would-be wife. And sadaqah means alms or charity. And the plural is sadaqat. So please differentiate sadaqat and sadaqat. Sadaqat is from sadaqah. And sadaqat is from sidaq. And sidaq is the bridal money which is paid by the husband to the bride, to the wife at the time of marriage. وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلَةً فَإِنْ تِبْنَ لَكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ. If they on their own concede some part of their dowry to you, well, you had promised me $10,000. Well, I give you 1,000 out of it. I am ready to accept 9,000. Okay. It's her authority. She can do it. فَكُلُوهُ هَنِيًّا مَرِيًّا. You can eat it, you can use it, consume it, and you can consume it with pleasure and doing no good to you, no bad to you. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. And don't hand over your properties to the feeble-minded. Sufaha, foolish, feeble-minded, retarded mentally. There are people. Perhaps an orphan is retarded in mind, mentally retarded. His father had left much property for him. Now if you hand over that property to this person, he will spoil it because he doesn't have the intelligence and the understanding and the wisdom and the maturity of thinking. Don't hand over the property to such people. It is in these type of cases that during the British Raj in India, there was court of war. If there was such minor people who inherited big properties, that those properties were not left at their own like or dislike, at their own disposal, but the government managed it for them, and they were allowed only annual expenditure out of the income of that property. That was called court of war, and this is something which is necessary in a society, because there can be people who don't know what is good for them, what is bad for them. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمُ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. These properties, these belongings, these things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a support for you in this world. So if you give them over to these people who are not mentally fit, who are not mentally up to mark, then you are spoiling it. And this is going to be a loss to the community, not to the individual alone. وَارْزُقُوهُمْ فِيهَا. But you feed them from that. وَاكْسُوهُمْ, and clothe them. Give the proper clothing, give the proper food out of the income of that property. وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, and say to them kind words. Don't be harsh to them, although they are mentally retarded. But don't be harsh to them. You have to treat them gently. وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ, and keep on testing the orphans till such time that they come of age, they reach the age of marriage, they reach the age of puberty. Now they are not minors, they are adults. فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا, if you see that they are intelligent, they can very well understand what is good for them, what is bad for them. فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, now hand over to them their property, which was in your custody. It was the property of the orphan. His father had left that property for him, but because he was a minor, you were the guardian, you were the custodian. But now when he has come of age, and now when he has reached the age of puberty, hand over their property to them. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا, don't eat it up. Israfan, extravagantly. وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبُرُوا, and hastily, fearing that they may become majors, they become adults. وَمَنْ كَانَ, so that you are finishing it up before they become adults. Don't do it. These were the things that were being done over there. These were the social evils in that society. And now when, Muslims had a society of their own, a system of their own, a state of their own, so to say, now the society had to be reformed from all respects. You see how much detailed the Quran is giving these instructions. Don't do any injustice to any section of this society, especially the weaker section. Women are weak, so are the